put my hand out and ask for something free. I got pride I could roll up for miles in front of me. I don't need your help and I don't need sympathy. I don't need you to lower the bar for me. I know I'm superwoman, I know I'm strong, I know I've got this 'cause I've had it all along. I'm phenomenal and I'm enough. I don't need you to tell me who to be.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are viewing this at this particular time. My name is Trish Robinson, and thank you for joining me. You have reached Courage Over Comfort, my first podcast to empower, to educate, and to inspire change. I'm so excited. I just want to take the time out to just say happy Juneteenth. This is the day that we are free. And we think about that word free to really use our skills and our gifts and our talents to just elevate to that next level. And this is why I do what I do, is to help, especially the Black and the brown, elevate themselves to that next level. I'm so excited about what this podcast is going to do, not just for me, but for my community. And so the topic, and it will be for the next few episodes, is courage over comfort. Now, what does that mean to you? When you think about that word courage, how have you been courageous? Or how have you allowed your comfort zone to stagnate you from not doing or being all that you can be, your heart's desires, your dreams, the things that you want in life, but you put them on a shelf and they're sitting dormant because you become so comfortable sitting in your comfy, cozy couch. Now, while I love sitting on the couch and being comfortable, I'm not going to allow that to stagnate my growth. I look internally in terms of what is it that I need to do for me. And so this podcast is going to allow me to open up a little bit. If you know me, I'm a very private person, but I am inspired for change. I want to see change. I want to see growth. And so this is why I'm doing what I do. So when you think about those words, those two words, comfort and courage, it takes courage to step out of your comfort zone. And so let's talk about that. So my journey, if you know me, you know that I am an educator. I love working with the youth. But this is not just for our youth today. This is for everyone that is desiring to do something different. It's to want to make a change in your life. And so I want you to, as you watch, welcome. As you watch this podcast, I want you to take some time out and share it. I want you to take some time to repost and also ask some questions, engage with this conversation. So I want you to think about two things. Distractors, disruptors. Those two key words. I want you to meditate on what they mean to you and how they have impacted your life. Let's start with distractors. When I was growing up, I was one of the only female baseball players in Little League in my community. The first to play on what we called back in the day was HERPAC. I'm from the south side of Harrisburg. And I considered myself a tomboy. But I love sports. It's in my DNA. I love sports. And so being the first female first baseman, so I was good, that allowed me to challenge myself, to push myself. It was that time that it makes me reflect on who I am today, because that's who I am today. I challenge myself. I push myself. I've had friends that tell me that I go beyond because there's certain things that people will not do, like leave that 9-to-5 job. That state job, they say it's a good job. Don't leave it. Stay as long as you can, get retirement. That was not me. I was not set up like that. It's not my DNA. I was not cut from that same cloth. So I decided to leave that job, but don't want to move too fast. Back to the baseball. So being the first female first baseman, I was challenged to do something different outside of the norm, outside of the comfort zone. And that's my point. Sometimes you got to be courageous. You have to be the first one to take that leap, that step, that jump towards something new, something different. And don't allow yourself to be a disruptor in your own life unless it's going to benefit you. So when I say being a disruptor, that means when you're noticing that there's things in you, because all things are eternal first before they become to reality. So when you're thinking about what's holding me back, is something within. And sometimes we have to disrupt what's going on internally so that we can move forward in the areas of our life that we want to see massive growth. Does that make sense? I hope so. So disrupting those things, like people in your ears saying that you're not good enough, or people in your ears saying that, what are you doing that? Who told you that you are capable of doing it? Or maybe someone saying, keep that 9-to-5 job. What are you doing? Sometimes it's the people that are closest to us, our family members. And I told you I was going to be transparent, right? So here it is. My mother told me, don't leave that job. Stay there. When I left and took a job that was paying, oh my goodness, barely minimum wage, I went and took a job teaching at a daycare. I took that leap. I took that jump because I knew that was not where I was set up to be. While it was a great job, I did enjoy parts of it, but there was part of me that was not growing. There was parts of me that was not elevating myself. I knew that I was more than what I was doing. And so while I was constantly told or looked at, why are you doing this? Why are you taking that leap when you have a job that's paying you great benefits? And it's guaranteed, but let me tell you this, nothing is guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is life is going to change and we are going to die. But that job is not guaranteed. And I don't want to live in regrets. So have you ever asked yourself, am I regretting not doing that job? Am I regretting not writing that book? Am I regretting not taking that trip? Because 5 years later, you probably going to be in the same position asking yourself the same questions. Am I regretting? And that is what I do not want to do. So coming out of that comfort zone and looking at courage, you have to think about emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? That means you have to really look internally at yourself. You're looking at what things that are stopping you, that are holding you back. Taking a self-evaluation of who you are and who you want to become. Being aware of your emotions, what makes you tick and what makes you say no to certain things, what makes you move, what are the fear factors that come into place when you decide to make a decision to do something and it becomes blocked because you get in your own way. So you have to be that disruptor. You have to be the one that says, no, I'm going to take a chance on me. I'm going to bet on me because what better person to bet on than yourself? Because you already know who you are. But unless you don't, then that's when you have to do a self-evaluation and understand who you are. So I knew at a young age, 10 years old, that I was good enough to play on that baseball team with all boys. And I was good because I was first baseman. So that spoke a lot for who I am. So moving forward, as I continue to transition, and you guys know that I work with young people, I had to make a decision as to, am I going to continue to accept mediocre, or I'm going to be that person that's meteoric, that's going to rise above, to be not normal, but do things that are outside of the comfort zone. Be courageous. So I told myself, I don't care what I have to do, I'm going to make it happen for me. I didn't have a plan really in place, but I knew what I wanted to do because I saw a need and I wanted to fulfill that need. So it wasn't no more about Trish, but it was about how can I be more impactful and influential to the youth in our community. That's when the light bulb came on. And it said, okay, here's how you can be impactful. We have to use these skilled hands to make a difference. Every student is not able or not wanting to go to a 4-year college, so why not give them an opportunity to use the skills of their hands to be able to take them to the next level? I went to a Votech school, but I didn't take up carpentry, plumbing, and electrical. I took up business because I thought that's where I wanted to be. That was my comfort zone. But years later, I found out that was not it. Not only that, I wanted to impact those youth that I was talking about. So I took the opportunity to do a pilot program so that I can impact the youth in our community. And it was successful. That was 4 years ago. And now I have an academy. So I came out of my comfort zone. I did not know anything about a hammer, a drill, any of that, other than I know that they're tools. I was not using them, but for the basic needs. But now that I am empowered, now I have taken that leap and that jump, it has allowed me to position myself to help other youth and women learn more about the trades and the benefits that it has for our community. So what is it that you are sitting on the fence about, getting real comfy and cozy, and not using your skills to elevate you to the next level? I was told time and time and time again, why are you doing that? Go back and get a 9-to-5. Even when times were tough, even in the last 2 years, it was not easy. But I met a young man at an event that I went to a couple weeks ago, the Black Enterprise. That was something on my bucket list, to attend that annual event. And I met a 17-year-old young man who started his business at the age of 13 in his garage. Culinary. He's a chef. Now he has a restaurant at 17 years old. And what he said on that stage impacted me. So never think you can't learn from a young person. He said, why? Why wait to be great? He doesn't have to be 30, 40 years old to really know what he wants to do in life. So when a child is telling you, this is what I want to do, listen, pay attention. Because oftentimes we're not listening to ourselves. We're not paying attention to ourselves. We're not aware of our unique qualities and skills because we're not taking time. We're so busy looking in this small little box that we've created for ourselves. We don't want to get outside that comfort zone because we are afraid of the unknown. And it's okay. What can happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? You can fail. You get back up, you try something different. Or you do it a different way. Or you get a mentor. You attach yourself to somebody that is doing it and is elevating and is successful doing it. Because it's easy to get next to someone that's not doing anything and they're going to tell you, why are you doing that? Because they're not doing it. They're comfortable. So we got to be mindful and careful who we associate ourselves with. I have a very small group of friends, and that's on purpose. Because I cannot attach myself to those individuals that are not willing or don't want to reach another level or even give back to their community. I'm not everybody's assignment, and everybody can't assign themselves or attach themselves to me. So we got to be mindful of that, be aware. And so when I say that young man empowered me, I came back with new vision. That's why I'm doing this podcast. I came back with new vision and new purpose to make a difference, to help elevate and impact not just young people, but anyone that is willing to come outside of their comfort zone, anyone that's willing to take a look at their skill set and reevaluate it. You be that disruptor in your life. You be the one that start to ask those questions, what, why, when, who, and yes, I can. So that other piece that I want to talk about is the distractors. And I kind of touch base on it a little bit because we all have distractors. We have people in our life that we love dearly, but they will distract us from doing what we need to do. They'll tell you things that are not true, but it's their truth. Or you get so caught up emotionally. That's why it's important to learn about emotional intelligence, because now that builds your relationships. Because once you know who you are and what you will not settle for, what your needs are, what your wants are, and which way you're growing, then you're able to connect with people that are doing some of the same things. And then when those distractors are coming that get into your way, in your space, you can recognize them quicker rather than later. Because a lot of times people will attach themselves to you for a purpose to throw you off your game. Or they're waiting for you to do something that's going to be detrimental to your space, to your time, to how you elevate yourself. So you have to be mindful of what those distractors are. And sometimes those distractors are ourselves. It's us. Because we'll start putting things in place and making excuses for why we're not doing certain things. We do it all the time. It's easy as saying, well, I'm not going to pay for that person to mentor me or to counsel me. When you know that the only way that you're going to get out of your comfort zone is to get someone that's going to be able to help you move past it. See, it's not always about the monetary, but it's about what do you want in life and how you get there. Because if it's free, then you have to question, is there any value to it at all? So you're going to have to pay for what you get. So if you want something, you have to pay the cost. Sometimes we go, my pastor, well, he was my pastor. He said sometimes we visit places and we stay too long. It costs us more than we're willing to pay. And that's the truth. But if we're going places and we have the ability to recognize and the discernment to know when this person is going to take us to that next level, we have to be willing to sacrifice some things and make it happen. Because to be great, there's a cost to it. There's something that's going to suffer in your life. But if you manage it, and that's that emotional intelligence, if you manage yourself well enough, you'll be able to, because I believe nothing is a happy balance, but I do believe that there's harmony in what we do. It should make sense. It should connect. You shouldn't be doing something that doesn't make sense or not connecting to what you're already doing, that you're trying to build. It's a building block. You know, when we was growing up, I know I'm aging myself, but we had the Legos, and they still have Legos. They're very popular. But Legos was so popular. I mean, a child would spend hours and hours and hours of their time just building up, tearing down, building back up. That's what they're for. It's about creativity. So sometimes we need to sit down with some Legos and just think about what can we build with these Legos. Now we're stretching ourselves to really understand our unique gifts. Because now we're moving outside that comfort zone. So we have to take the initiative. We have to know what's for us and what's not for us. And don't allow people and things, spaces to take up all our energy. When we stay focused and driven on a path that we want, all those other things will come into fold. I can't tell you how many people that I've connected with in the last year that has been powerful and that have stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, Trish, what can I do to help you? And I have friends that I've known for a lifetime that have not been in my corner, that have not said anything. I hear crickets. And that's okay. Because there's a time and a place for things. Everybody, where you're going, you can't take everybody with you. And that's okay. But I recognize some things. I realize some things. That there are some people that don't even know you, but have your best interest at heart and see your vision and see your drive and see your purpose and will help you and support you and give you that. So you have to wean out those folks that are just clappers, because that's all they're going to do. They're going to clap. And sometimes those claps are not authentic. Be mindful. I said earlier, hit the like button. I do want you to hit the like button. I do want you to share. And I want you to comment, because that's important. I need to know that the impact is real. And if it's not for you, it might be for somebody else. So pass it along. Pass the baton. And that's why I'm here today, because I want to pass the baton. I don't want to leave here not having an impact and an influence on somebody's life. If it's just one, I've done my part. So I want you to come outside of your comfort zone. I want you to be courageous. I want you to take a risk, or take a chance on you. I want you to say it's either fight or flight. What is it going to be? You make that decision, but don't give up. Be a disruptor in your own life. Don't let those distractors come in unless they have a purpose to help you. Because sometimes there's some people that will come in your life that's going to say, hey, this is what I'm going to help you do. This is where I see you need help in. And they'll turn that page for you. But you have to recognize who they are and understand what your gifts are and how you can be influential. So on this day, as we celebrate Juneteenth, as we celebrate being free, what are you going to be free from? What are you going to detach yourself from today and attach yourself to? That's going to give you growth. That's going to speak to your skill set. That's going to help empower your mind. That's going to take you to levels that you didn't even know you were capable of doing. I would have never imagined that I will be in the trades. I would have never imagined that I will be speaking to you today. These last few years, as I decided to really hone into my skills and understand why God has called me to do just for this particular time and this moment, it has been rough. But a famous philosopher said, Jim Rome said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And you don't want it to be easy. You want it to be rough, because it speaks to your strength. It speaks to your tenacity and your will to not settle. And I am not settling under no circumstance, and I don't want you to settle. So if you want to know more about what evolve is, because we are evolving. And if you're not willing to be an evolved man or woman, then step aside. But if you are willing to say yes to you, join me on my couch. Join me on my podcast. And I want you to impact your community and ask yourself, what can I do to give back? Because we can't take none of this with us. So why not pass the baton? Why not? Why wait to be great? This is the time. This is your moment. Let's get it done today. My website is www.evolvetrades.org. We are impacting this community, and we're making a difference. And I believe the change is going to come. So again, I want you to share. I want you to hit that like button. I want you to watch the replay, because it will be a replay. And I want you to think about your comfort zone. Where are you on your couch? What are you doing? Are you making a difference? Are you making an impact? Are you being influential in a positive way? Or are you spending your time saying why? Are you spending your time wondering what someone else is doing and why you're not elevating to that next level? So this is your girl, Trish Robinson. I want to thank you for joining us. Please join us again next week, Monday, 6 o'clock. Courage over comfort. Have a great day.